You want to know what's really, really cool to teach our kids? Teaching them how to be achievers, teaching them how to be winners, teaching them how to be triers, teaching them how to fail. That's cool. So recently, I've had a conversation. It was crazy. I was in Arizona this weekend. Me and my wife were talking, and some of my little girl's friends, they're spending a lot of time talking about like hair and nails, fake nails. You know, it's really cool, these gel nails that they're doing, and they're doing and they're creating a little bit of like this cool kids hierarchy within their schools, just in elementary school, based on what clothes people are wearing, who's got the cool kids clothes, who's got the fake nails, who's got the hair, who's got the this and that, right? Look, that totally is elementary and basic and seems like just like young kid stuff, but guess what? We're all doing the same shit as adults. Like you look around, you look at social media right now, and all the influencers and all the Insta models and everybody else that's got the fake this and fake that, which by the way, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Like, look, surgeries and fake hair and nails and this and that, it can absolutely bring confidence to people, and it can even be sustainable confidence in some ways. So I'm not saying that these are bad things. I'm simply saying that what's happening today with our children is also happening with adults, where we're creating this priority list or hierarchy based on things that are just kind of superficial. And so what I wanted to talk about, and this is the conversation I had with my wife, was like, man, how do we instill in our kids to make sure that when they're engaging with their friends and they're talking with their peers, or these kind of conversations come up, that they can take the conversation to a place that inspires them and their friends and creates almost that competitive atmosphere of trying to be cool, based on a criteria that's just so much different than the superficial things of life. And by those things, I mean, why isn't it cool for us to be winners, to be like super smart in our class? Why isn't it cool to be the kid that's reading the book all the way to school on the bus? Why isn't it cool to be the kid that shows up and all your homework's done and you've read 5 chapters ahead? Why isn't it cool to be the kid after practice that's staying and doing the extra laps or the extra reps? Why isn't it cool? These are the questions that me and my wife started asking each other. And it's a little bit sad because those things aren't cool because adults are not making those things cool. Our kids are a reflection of our example through and through. And so we as adults, we have to take responsibility in saying, hey, cool, let's do these things on social media as bloggers, as moms, as this and that. You guys have so much influence, these influencers. You guys have so much influence. Let's teach our kids that it's really cool to be smart, that it's really cool to learn, that it's really cool to try hard, to give extra effort, to train, to do the things when people aren't looking, that it's really, really cool to also just not win all the time even, but get back up and try again. Like, how many parents out there right now are doing this mental evaluation of, well, my kid won't be very good at that, so I don't want to put him in that sport or that extracurricular activity. I know that's happening. I have friends and family members that are not allowing their kids in these sports or in these extracurriculars because they're judging them, saying they're not big enough, strong enough, fast enough. They're gonna fail. It's gonna hurt them. I'll tell you what, that crap is not going to hurt them because that's the real world. They are not going to be instantaneously good at almost anything in their life. And especially if it means anything like long term that's important. The important things, the hard stuff in life, it takes time. And we're not just instantly good at it. As an adult, I don't know what has happened, but we see these babies, right? These babies come into the world and they crawl, and then all of a sudden they stand up. And I got 7 kids, so I've seen this time and time again. They start cruising. They call it cruising. They'll hold the wall, they'll hold the sofa or the coffee table, and they'll take a couple steps. and then they fall. And they try it again, and then they fall. But they cruise a little more, or they get a few more steps in between every time. And we watch that and we think it's so cute, and we cheerlead, and we're like, that's awesome. And no part of that kid has fallen and thought, I'm giving up, I can't walk. I just can't do it. You know, like I tried 5 times, 500 times, I can't do it. I'm not gonna walk anymore. Because that is not even natural. That's not instinctive for anybody. But for some reason, as parents or as an adult, we are programming or deprogramming that out of our children by saying, I don't think he'll naturally be good at this, so I'm just not gonna give him a chance, or I'm not gonna put him in this. And that is just, in my opinion, it's so wrong, because it goes against everything that we instinctually do in life to get good at anything. Is we try it, we fall, we get back up, we try it again, we get better over time. Our practice, it builds, and now we start having wins, and that builds confidence, and that creates swag, and that creates all sorts of momentum. And so as a parent, I want to ask you, what are you doing that's maybe holding your children's potential back? Or what are you doing? What are the stories you're telling yourself about your kids that are potentially holding them back from doing great things and learning? And even if they're never the best in that sport or that extracurricular, why are you taking away the lessons from them that they'll learn from just trying hard and falling and getting back up? Because those are invaluable lessons for life that are going to transfer into all the things that ultimately they want to be good at in life. So whether they end up being a soccer player or little Jimmy ends up playing football, it doesn't matter, because what they're going to learn by failure and continual effort is what they need in life anyway. And so I just want, me and my wife talked about it. We think it's so important that we teach our kids that as those conversations come up with their peers, that it's cool to try hard, and that it's cool to be an achiever, and it's cool to be a winner, and it's cool to be smart, and it's cool to do those things, and those should be the focus and priority of those children at the forefront of their brain, so that it's not just, how can I look good for TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat? Because that stuff's just not fulfilling. I'm not saying that those aren't valuable platforms for them to be able to, do really cool things in the future. But the basis of what they need to develop, there needs to be a focus on what's important. So let's make those things cool. And as parents, I want you to take inventory too. What are you holding back from your children? What can you do better to make sure that they have more opportunity, and don't make those bets against them. Like every time you say they can't or they won't, you're betting against your kid. And if you're gonna bet against your own kid, like, who do they have? You gotta be in their corner. That's like, if all else fails, we gotta be that for our kids. Bet on them. Every single time, bet on them. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you found value in it, please share it with those that you care about. And if you wanna see more of this stuff, please subscribe.